And we can or cannot adopt this song as our musical version of the motto. We don't have to, but I like it, and I'm gonna. If y'all like it, we'll say this is the musical. Is that working?
Yeah, I'm just making sure.
The little red numbers turning at the bottom.
It is, sir. I just want to make sure you're in there and thank you is in there.
Huh?
I want to make sure you're in there and that thank you is in there. Behind you.
Okay, here's the song.
Appropriate. Thank you. Thank you, Gary.
Okay, if you know the song, if you've heard it somewhere, we'll sing it along. Kneel down by the side of your mother, my child. You have only a moment, I know. Stay till I give you this parting advice. It's all I have to bestow. Hold fast to the right, hold fast to the right. Wherever your footsteps may roam, forsake not the way of salvation, my child, that you learn from your mother at home. You go now to seek your employment, my child, by the world you have yet to try. In the temptations and trials you meet, lay your heart to the Savior confide. Hold fast to the right, hold fast to the right. Wherever your footsteps may roam, oh, forsake not the way of salvation, my child, that you learned from your mother at home. I gave you to God in your cradle, my child. I've taught you the best that I knew, and as long as His mercy permits me to live, I will never stop praying for you. Hold fast to the right, hold fast to the right. Wherever your footsteps may roam, oh, forsake not the way of salvation, my child, that you learned from your mother at home. You will find in your satchel the Bible, my child. It's the book of all others, the best. It'll help you to live, prepare you to die. It'll lead you to the gates of the blessed. Hold fast to the right, hold fast to the right. Wherever your footsteps may roam, oh, forsake not the way of salvation, my child, that you learn from your mother at home. That you learn from your mother at home. Oh, fast.
How do you
That's going to
remember
be our
all that?
musical.
How do you remember? How many verses? You want to know how can you remember all of that?
Yeah, how do you remember all that?
Okay, you said hold fast to the right, is that right?
Yeah, that's the way the song is.
Yeah.
The biblical quote is hold
fast to that
hold fast to that which is good.
Yeah.
And that's the second part of the verse. Has got actually one more line in it. I think it was something about trust. Or,
There is another line.
anyway, 1 Thessalonians 5:21 is the verse, and it's two lines, the second of which is hold fast to that which is good. And that's been our motto, and it's been in all of our newsletters and stuff like that all these years. Let's see, who's got some news for us for the since last time we gathered?
I don't have any news, but I have a question. When we were over here looking at the photographs, there's a picture over here of somebody crowning. It says at the senior prom in 1952. That the black and white photo on the second board over.
What's the question?
Well, my question is, the word senior prom, as I recall it, and I've been telling the stories, that we never did have any proms because the superintendent was against dancing and we didn't have dancing when we were in school. And I wondered, we used to have a junior-senior banquet, but I don't recall us ever having a prom in Winnsboro High School. And I just wondered if, I don't remember, I was out of town in '52, I was in Austin at a contest, so I missed the junior-senior banquet. But the word prom, because I've been telling this story to a lot of people, that we never had proms because of this rigid Baptist superintendent who wouldn't allow dancing. And it's a good story, and I just wanted to know I was wrong all these years. I've been wrong all these years. Yeah.
Of course, I didn't know how to dance, so I don't know. I don't remember what was
What
it.
you're saying
I think we
is
called it a
We had a
prom.
prom, we just didn't dance.
Well, but did they call
Because my mom made my dress,
Oh, but
my junior
we
prom.
called it a prom.
We called it a prom, we sure did.
I just remember junior-senior banquet. I
I
didn't remember.
yeah.
Do y'all remember the teen town that we had?
Yes, I do.
We
That's how I learned
we
to
had
dance.
a music director at our church that,
Wasn't our church then.
it wasn't, it was my church.
Okay.
But anyway, he got the thing closed down for a while because of the dancing.
We were dancing. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember that.
They consider, the Baptists consider
Yeah.
that
Evil, absolutely.
Yeah.
well, not in
Going out, Jim was saying, they had a dance out there. Of course, I couldn't dance anyway.
Yeah,
would have
I didn't know
dances.
anything about that.
Nobody told me something.
We call them folk dances,
Okay,
though.
but I was raised in the First Baptist here, but all you friends that went to the Methodist church had dances, and I'd come over to y'all's church and we'd dance.
That's right, exactly. But we did have to call them folk dances.
Yes,
Folk dances.
And we may have called it a banquet, I can't remember, but I just remember we called it a prom, but it may have, officially it may have been.
But that's my daughter, I'm just telling the
Well,
story.
Oh, well, it's a good story, keep telling it.
well, Joanne, I can tell you for sure, we elected a prom queen.
Oh, okay. Maybe I should say.
And I don't know why.
I just won't tell the
Who
story.
was it?
That was a good.
Peggy.
Who was it? Peggy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, exactly.
I couldn't
It was that
remember.
word prom that I couldn't.
Who else got any news for us?
Well, did we table the next reunion?
Oh, yeah, Peggy wants to know, well, no, we decided we're gonna have a 65-year reunion, didn't we?
Okay.
She's 17, I know she came up with that idea.
Okay.
Is this a good place to meet for a reunion?
Yeah.
Suits me fine.
My friends all laughed. I said, we're meeting at noon because no one can drive at night. And we're ordering our food out in the parking lot, but we can go in and eat.
A lot of reunions are meeting here now.
I looked up there and rolled
Well, I chose this place
Yes,
because
it's
the
good.
class of
It's good.
52,
I'm teasing you.
53 met here.
Yeah,
And I thought, and I met with them, and I thought it worked well.
it's good.
They was a restaurant here.
So, anyone have any reminiscence, any memories, or anything you want to bring up? Or just soon forget?
Oh, I did a question I have. Were you still, do you know what? I don't remember the original Dodging House on North Main. The last time we were here, it was a big two-story, beautiful white house. It's gone. Do you remember when they tore it down?
The one at just above Pine Street?
Richardson, where my street was, where I lived, Richardson and Main,
Yeah.
on the corner.
I don't know.
It burned.
Did?
It
Oh.
Burned down.
We were driving around last night and looked, and I said, I don't remember that being empty. I mean, I remember this house the last time. You know how long ago it was? I just.
Well, now,
Time means nothing to me.
yeah. Thank you.
But the house you
Since
live
the last-
in
since the last
is
reunion.
still there. the house you live in.
Oh, yeah, oh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
why we drove by last night to look.
Yeah.
And I did when I was here before, and they had taken really good care of it, and
Yeah, it
it looks
is.
lovely. I can
It
move
is.
back in tomorrow, it really looks nice. But I did, as I said,
It burned, Mom.
I know, but you said, I sort of was asking when, because I
I
sure
couldn't imagine
had.
they tear it down. It's a beautiful house, so that's
Oh,
really
it's
sad.
sad. Yeah, it's very.
In this week's Winnsboro paper, Bill Jones, who writes a column each week of historical nature, he's now the official historian of Winnsboro. And I sent in a news release and a picture to the newspaper about our reunion upcoming. Terry Matthews now is the arts and the copy editor, and she's very reliable on making things happen. And when this came in to her, she sent me an email and said and this is that, our graduating picture here. And she said, I love this, thanks for sharing. I didn't know what she was going to do with it, but what she did was put it with Bill's historical column, and our picture is here, and it says Winnsboro High School graduating class 52 will gather for a reunion at 11:30 Saturday, October 24 for lunch, visiting and business at Bodacious, etc. So we made the paper, and
No, not the front page, but.
Terry Matthews has made a great difference in the Winnsboro News. She was on the city council for many years here, and got Carolyn Jones elected mayor. She was Carolyn's campaign manager, and there was a confrontation of sorts between when Dane Redding was mayor for a while, and there was some kind of issue, and it's my understanding that Terry told Carolyn, if you'll run for mayor, I'll see that you beat Dane Redding. And she did. She went door to door, I think, to everybody in Winnsboro and got Carolyn elected mayor. And I don't know what the issue was or anything like that, but it was quite interesting. And she worked for the Sulphur Springs paper. I don't think it's daily, but 2 or 3 times a week it comes out. And she retired from that recently and started to work for the Winnsboro News as copy editor and arts editor. I was looking for Joanne's history of the class to see how many of because she tells us one bright sunny morning in September of 1940, 6 well-scrubbed, stiffly starched children. Here's the people in our class who were in the first grade together: Joyce Chitsey, Gaston Benton, Dalton Mundy, Peggy Doyle, Charles Winkle, Coy White, and Mary June Cruz started out for their first day in the big new wonderful world of school. So then she goes on to tell how and when each one of us joined the class and this sort of thing. So this is in, you remember though, how many of you still know where your 50-year reunion notebook is? Okay, now what you can do is, what I'm going to do with my directory is put it, replace the directory that's in this notebook with the new one. But I realize that some of you would maybe prefer to have this handy just to...
I never got one.
Well,
I was here.
let's talk about that later. I thought everybody got one. But I can't guarantee that I can find you one now. But I can't believe that we missed somebody.
I was here, wasn't I? I'm almost sure I was here at the 50th.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I made one for everybody who was here or not, and I mailed everybody one who wasn't here. I made one for everybody. If I missed you, I humbly beg
Up
forgiveness.
there where high school offices are now,
Yeah.
where the school offices are, that building was a 3-story
Yeah.
building up there.
Oh, are you talking North Ward?
Yeah,
Yeah.
North Ward, it was 3 stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That gymnasium up
Yeah.
on the top.
I was there for the 7th grade, and then for the 8th grade we moved over to
the new memorial school, you know.
As I recall, I've been telling this story too, which makes you. I remember there being a coal burning stove up there in the 3rd floor, because I started 5th
there
grade
was.
there, and they had
And
to carry the stove, make sure, keep it.
We had
It's not
these
simple.
coal burning stoves in every room. And each teacher assigned somebody to keep that stove fed while we were in class.
I thank you for confirming that, because I've told that story too. It's hard to believe in those days, they were using coal burning stoves.
There was a chute where those coal trucks would come in and dump that in a chute, and it would go down in the basement. And the guys that were monitors on the stoves, they had to go down there with buckets and bring that coal up, put it in the room, and you were assigned that.
They're older than I am, I never had
You just didn't start the 1st grade over
That's
there.
exactly right.
Charlie,
I started
remember-
6th grade.
I remember that North Ward, just like it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember the big fence they had out
Oh,
on the
yeah.
west side there. And I remember I had a first cousin that was, he grew up to be about 6, 7. And he was my bodyguard. That was in the 1st grade.
Who was that?
Buford Monday. Buford.
Charlie and Dalton, do y'all remember when we had the maypole?
Oh, yeah.
And I helped wind that maypole, and you know, a lot of people don't even know, these kids don't even know what a maypole was.
Yeah.
You know,
We sure-
but we had a maypole.
we sure did.
Uh-huh.
Well, we went to 6th grade down the middle school, we were, by that time, didn't we?
We went over to.
Yeah, at 6th grade, yeah, because I just went to the Northwood School 1 year, because I came in the 5th grade, and I was there that 1 year. But I remember the cold. For sure. I don't ever recall being assigned to
Is
college.
Charlton, Dalton, the only ones that started 1st grade?
How did Little Hope ever come up with
Went
that?
through.
Little Hope.
Or Charlton and Dalton, were you here?
Okay.
The 3 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones that I read off that Joanne had in that, I think all of them
I never did.
graduated with us, right, didn't
They all sound like, yeah, still.
See, our
When I was
school
born
was,
down there.
Little Hope.
our school was called, Common Ridge.
Have y'all ever heard of collegiate?
Well, there's Little Hope. I went to Little Hope, they called the school Common Ridge. Well, I went to 8th grade down there.
they? Where did you go to school?
For a lot in the 9th grade.
Eugene, where did you go to school before Winnsboro?
Little Hope,
Little Hope School.
yeah. Well, they called it Common Ridge, but it's right there by Little Hope.
Common Ridge.
Uh-huh.
And it was right there near the church, or what?
It's right due east of the church. In fact, our ag building was that part of that school. They tore it down, built ag building out of it.
I see.
Summer I got out, you know,
You came in the 9th grade. didn't
9th
you?
grade,
Yeah.
yeah. You and Joe Bob and I were the last 3 to get signed up as freshmen.
Yeah.
We'd sit back there and cut up everybody else. We were the very last 3.
I did that most of my freshman year.
I went to Center Hill School, which was north of Winnsboro.
What's the name of it?
Center Hill. And then in 6th grade, they consolidated the schools, and I came to Winnsboro.
Who else went to country school? What was it? Pleasant Grove?
They had 9 grades for a while out there, didn't they?
They stopped the
Old
ninth grade.
Count and all them, had been out there in 9th grade, I think.
I was the last one that
Just got
the
out.
first one that went to full, the 9th grade went. They changed.
I started the 1st grade out at Clearwater and moved into Winnsboro.
You're in the 1st grade?
Still in the 1st grade.
Yeah. Now, what about you, Joanne? Did you say you came to Winnsboro in the 5th grade?
Yes, started.
Where were you before that?
5th grade. Overton. Before.
Oh, really?
My dad worked for Gulf Oil Company, and we just happened, we were here because they were opening up a new pipeline, and a new oil field and so forth, and he was sent here to work. And it was a very, very short time. We moved here like in the summer. I started 5th grade, and he died very suddenly of a heart attack in the spring, in February. my mother almost went back to her hometown of Itasca, when she was left to widow with a 10-year-old child. And by the time she had been here, from February to June, she had made a lot of friends and liked Winnsboro, and they were really wonderful people, and she liked the church, and she just stayed. So she was here 50 years, but I was not born, I had no connections anywhere beforehand. We just got sent here by Gulf Oil.
So your mother was loved into this town.
That's right, exactly.
Hey, when we were over at the North Ward School building, and they went from 11 grades to 12 grades, they took those cards, registration cards, and they dealt them like this into piles. And I wound up being in the second group that had to go all the way through. And some of them only went to 11 grades.
Well, I must have been in that group because I went all the way through too.
You graduated, you were in the group that was in there. And they dealt those cards, just one here and one there and one here and one there.
Really?
The unfair way of
The luck of the draw.
I mean, you graduated 11, if you got right card.
Yeah, she graduated, she went to 11 grades and I went 12 grades.
No, I went 12.
I
went 12.
I think our whole class, for the most part, went to 12 grades. I want to tell about my school. I went to Vernon Country School, which is out about 3/4 of a mile east of Tenney Chapel. And like Tenney Chapel was founded as by a land grant from my grandfather Tenney, Ambrose Tenney, Vernon School was established, originally it was on the Garner property over on 2088. And in 1911 they moved it to 3.5 acres of land that my grandfather Tenney donated over near where David Stanton now lives on 4620. And they actually tore down the old school from the Garner property and moved it with a wagon, a horse-drawn, a mule-drawn wagon, over to grandfather Tenney's property and rebuilt it. And I went there, my mother went there, and a lot of my other, my grandfather Tenney wanted a school there because they were so far away at the school that they went to that when they got home it was too late to get much work done. And he wanted to get them home early so they could do more work on the farm. Yeah. And so I was there from 1st grade through the 6th grade, and right after World War II, in fact 45-46 was our last academic year, and I was in the 6th grade. And then we consolidated with the Winnsboro School District. And so I joined this class in the 7th grade at the old North Ward School.
You just went 8 months out there at country school, didn't you? That's all we went.
Did what?
We just went 8 months.
Oh.
So you get out and do more work.
Yeah. I can't remember how many months we did.
Some of those Bear boys didn't start back to school in September. They'd start a month or two later until they got the cotton picked.
We just had 8 months school.
Yeah.
Really?
My dad quit in 3rd grade. He was so big, they kept him out so much, he couldn't. He quit in 3rd grade. Teacher beat 2 of them other girls up because they missed his dad. He pulled his knife out and said he stuck it in this, and this means you ain't gonna beat me like that. Well, you're expelled then. That was the end of his school.
My husband was from Arkansas, and he said in the fall that they would shut down school for a while so the kids could pick cotton or whatever. Yeah, and then they start back up.
Give me a job.
Yeah, it's hard to remember that maybe before our time even that 80% or more of this country were agricultural. Everybody in this country, 80% of them at one time were farmers or agricultural, and the Industrial Revolution came late to the Tenney Chapel community.
I can remember in my school, we didn't have a bathroom, so we had to go to the outhouse.
Yeah, oh yeah, we had that out at Vernon.
And I went to school in Hopkins County, and when they consolidated the school, some of the people, they had a choice. They could go to Picton or they could come to Winnsboro. And so our family chose Winnsboro. But we had to ride a bus a long, long way.
What was the name of the school you went to before?
Center Hill.
Center.
Hill.
And what road was that on?
Well, I don't know. I don't remember.
Out there somewhere.
Okay, Leon Cox was in our class.
Oh, was he?
That's right.
Yes, and his dad, they lived.
Darrell Cox.
They lived, yeah. Darrell Cox was the bus driver.
Yeah.
And we probably were just one of the second or third people to get on the bus and then ride for an hour and a half to school.
Gosh.
Wow.
And then we were the last ones to get off in the afternoon.
Annie Ruth was on our bus. She was the first one off on in the morning, last
When
one
you
off
first
at
started
night.
riding, they have little homemade buses.
No.
Andy
Yes, right.
No, I
Cox,
don't
Andy
remember
Cox
being a
had one
homemade
that
bus.
was made by
Wooden,
Yeah.
made out of wood.
wooden.
Chess Rogers had
It
one.
had four rows of seats in it.
Yeah, and they were
Long
Yeah,
way.
long way.
down the
That's what I rode all my time.
Yeah.
Bunyan Ballard. And Jack Ballard.
Yeah.
I was riding at the East Point one day, he run off the home.
Okay, who remembers?
Okay, my favorite teacher in high school, my favorite teacher in high school was Mr. Warren.
Oh,
Oh,
he was
yes.
my second favorite.
He was my favorite too. He was great inspiration.
He was the smartest man I've ever seen, I think. You know, I thought this was Mr. Belvedere, you know, of the movies.
Yeah.
He was that smart. And he had a vocabulary that just blew me away.
He gave me a love of history
Yeah,
Yes.
that I still have today.
Yes.
yeah.
I can very well remember him passing along some books. He said that there wasn't enough in our own textbook for saying he would pass along books of his own that he had to students more advanced, that had more information in them for people. The kids.
And he would mention books in class that he was, you know, fiction book like Jane. He was a fan of Jane Austen.
Jane Austen.
Jane Austen, yeah, wrote the English
Yeah,
history,
yeah.
historical novels and that sort of thing. Books that I'd never read, you know, and he inspired me. In fact, Joe Bob, you know, a while ago, I said I cut up most of my freshman year. That's true. Joe Bob Blackman and I were the class clowns our freshman year, you know, and we wrote that humor column for the Raider that year, for our freshman year. You know, it was to get attention. You know, we were seeking attention, I'm sure, and but we thought we were funny, you know? And then the sophomore year started the same way. And I'm always grateful for Mr. Warren, because at the end of the first 6 weeks, he called, you know, first 6 weeks conference, and then before the 6 weeks test, and he called me and Joe Bob in together, not separately, you know, and he said, you know, I am on to you guys. I know what you're doing. And, you know, he said, I know that you're both capable of being scholars. You know, you have it, I can tell, you know. And he said, I know you can both be scholars, and instead of, you know, trying to be comedians. And he said, I want you to commit to me in this meeting today, right now. I want you to commit to being a scholar from now on, you know. And he pointed it at me, and he said, will you commit, Joe Dan? And I said, and I was so impressed with him. I said, I commit. And Joe Bob committed a little bit less enthusiastic, but he committed. Now Joe Bob was much smarter than I was. You know. He never took a book home in 4 years of high school, ever. He said, if I can't learn it in study hall, I'm not going to learn it. And he was smart enough to pass without taking a book home.